pretty much pristine since, Satoshi defined it. The transaction protocol, jerked a little bit or adjusted with Segwit. And Taproot sort of adjusted because they changed the theoretical bandwidth and the theoretical nature of transactions. What kind of transactions will the network process and how much bandwidth can it process? The third protocol is the power protocol. And in this particular case, it's not electrical power, it's computing power, but what kind of computer power? Digital power. You can define all sorts of power protocols to control a network. For example, democracy is a protocol. One person, one vote. Aristocracy, one rich family, one vote. Violence, one gun, one bullet, one vote. Right? The world's full of power protocols. The deer with the antlers have their power protocol. The power protocol for the Bitcoin network is SHA-256 hashing, right? It could have been any other, right? It could be a proof of stake protocol. It could be all sorts of other interesting power protocols. But the question is, who at the end of the day gets to create the block every 10 minutes? And what kind of power do they have to project in order to create the block? And if I had an algorithm which was a CPU-friendly algorithm, right? It's a non-GPU, a non-ASIC-friendly CPU. Well, then you're allowing any general-purpose computer to participate and generate that computing power. If you had an algorithm that didn't include computing power at all, it's just electricity. But of course, electricity isn't terribly scarce, and computing power isn't terribly scarce. So the idea of SHA-256 hashing creates a very unique digital power protocol. It's something where you can create custom silicon. So you have custom ASICs that are generating lots of SHA-256 hashes. And now we just crossed 500 exahash. That's a lot of power. But what's really critical, I think, about the power protocol is that it allows you to construct a silicon machine with a massive mechanical advantage. Like a custom ASIC, custom silicon gives you a 1000x or 2000x advantage over a general purpose CPU. And what that means is that what we have here is three interacting protocols which create four types of scarcity. The first level of scarcity is asset scarcity. The second level of scarcity is bandwidth scarcity. There's a third type of scarcity, which is power scarcity. SHA-256 hashes are a very scarce form of power, right? They can only be created by Bitcoin mining equipment. And so there's a fourth type of scarcity, which is technical scarcity, technology scarcity. The ability to design, a high performance semiconductor chip that does SHA-256 hashing, right? What Bitmain has as a core competency, right? If you can create that. So in order to guarantee the asset scarcity, you have to have bandwidth scarcity. And in order to guarantee the bandwidth scarcity, you have to have power scarcity. And in order to guarantee the power scarcity, you need technology scarcity. And so you're really looking at like four harmonics or four types of scarcity, and they come together and they create a network that has integrity and efficiency, right? I need the efficiency that, like, what's efficient? Here's an efficient power protocol. I have a gun. I'm in a room with 100 other people. One person with a gun that costs $300 has the ability to secure $1 billion in a room of 100 other people. It's a very efficient way to secure the money, right? Whoever has the gun, now take away the gun, put the $1 billion in the middle of the room, and now your new power protocol is your fist. Now you can imagine, now you've got 20 people punching 30 other people, right? Now the outcome becomes very ineffective. Another power protocol is, I'm going to secure the $1 billion with $100 million of staked money. You can see that the issue with that is in a staked economy, I have to actually allocate 10 or 20% of the capital to protect the rest of the capital. that doesn't scale very well. So when you actually get to the point where you're creating machines, whether it's a construction crane or whether it's a gun or whether it's a semiconductor chip, you have inserted know-how in order to channel energy, in order to actually exert power. And when I talk about, scarcity of power, well, the Bitcoin miners own all the SHA-256 ASIC chips. So, on any given day, if every power company or electricity company in the world wakes up and decides to attack the Bitcoin network, they can't really do it because the computing power, the digital power is scarce and they don't have it. If any government wants to attack the network, they can't do it because they don't have the power. The actual silicon machine is in the hands of the network operators. So that creates a certain type of efficiency and stability, and you can't really build a civilization without it. I mean, it's the same kind of efficiency you get when you build a dam, right? You dam a lake and all of a sudden you're generating hydropower. Or the same efficiency you get when you have a construction crane and a 150-pound person can lift 20 tons in the air, 1,000 feet, right? It's clear you're not going to do it without having a machine. So I look at the entire network and I think it's a pretty beautiful set of integrated protocols because the power protocol protects the transactions every 10 minutes. And the transactional protocol is a market-driven protocol where people are bidding to put their transactions into the block space. So as the ecosystem grows, the bid for transactions grows in a classic market economy fashion. And what you have is Austrian economics dictating which transactions will get implemented based upon subjective value of all the participants in the ecosystem. The miners, over the course of 1,000 years, it's quite obvious, right? They're paid by transactions. The block rewards were a bootstrap or an initial subsidy in the first 20 years of the network. But as far as I can see, by the year 2035, the block rewards just look de minimis.
Out of this world.